Welcome back, Legionnaires, and today we're going to talk about our personal Dataslate wish lists.
Yep, what we're expecting and what we hope to change.
Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Kevin.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're going to talk about our personal wish lists for the Dataslate.
Yep, so there's a ton of changes coming, we hope soon. We're thinking this Thursday with Warhammer, and there are many armies that need to be adjusted either up or down. And we're going to talk about which ones we think are going to be changed soon.
So myself and Chris recently went to a tournament down south. Where was that at again?
That was all the way down in Hialeah.
Yeah, and those guys were great. What was the name of that store?
So that was Nowhere Games. They're all the way down in Hialeah. There's a little circuit of stores down there that run a bunch of events. It was a 14-person event that we went to, a little RTT. Yeah. We had a blast. It was a good time.
It was really fun, guys. Definitely check out Nowhere Games. They're great people. They have an awesome shop. Yeah. But getting into it, really, what did you take away from the tournament? Kind of where does the game stand?
Kind of where I was at was, this was kind of my last hurrah with Necrons, is I kind of wanted to bookend my experience with Necrons, because I started the edition playing Canoptic Court, and then I transitioned into Hypercrypt for a long, long time. And I was like, you know what, I want to throw it back and play Canoptic Court again. So that's what I wanted to do at this tournament, and I did. And I ended up going 3-0. I got second, had a good time. I played, my very first round was against the one person I didn't want to play against. It was Allie on Sisters of Battle, and every time we play each other, we always have a complete brain burner of a game. Had a really close game. It was 65-62 or something like that. Very, very close.
You were really stressed.
Oh God, yeah, I know. Every time I play her, it's like I sit down and every part of my brain is firing at the same time, and it's always a good game. And then after that, I think I played Orcs and I played Thousand Suns, and Diego was on Thousand Suns. He's a player I really respect too. You played him round one.
I did play him round one. Yeah. Or
How'd that go?
Was it round one?
Yeah, you played him round one.
Oh, with Thousand Suns.
Yeah.
He is an awesome player.
Yeah.
Thousand Suns do a lot of crazy shit.
Yep. A bunch of wizard nonsense.
Yeah, using the Cabal points, being able to double move, really kind of threw me. I was playing Eldar, obviously.
I mean, not that you're not unfamiliar with wizard nonsense.
I love movement shenanigans, but man, I have an Eldar army being painted by Brad right now, and I'm super excited to get that in my hands after playing him.
Yeah.
Because that was just the movement shenanigans of move again. He can spend 2 Cabal points just to say, I fucking reroll.
Yep.
Which is, in my opinion, rerolls, guys, as we know, they're God.
Yeah, they're extremely powerful.
That's just the maximum that the game can produce for your rerolls.
The detachment for Necrons I was playing, they get full rerolls to hit if you control objectives. And
Cancer.
There were so many opponents that looked at me, they go, you get what when you do what? And I'm like, yeah, I fully reroll. And they're like, that is so dumb. And I'm like, you're right.
What was your third game?
My third game was against Orcs. I was playing Hunter.
Oh, you too. Yeah.
Yep, he after the game, he actually sent me a little battle report that he does after the end of his games, and I kind of looked at his perspective versus mine. And it's interesting because he's a faction specialist too. He plays Orcs, that's what he plays, right? And hearing his little takes on it was interesting because I've played Orcs and Necrons that match up a number of times, and I kind of knew what I was doing, and he's only played it a couple times, so I just had the experience advantage on that one. So
gotcha.
It was a fun game for sure.
Yeah, my first game was against Thousand Suns, and that game went very strange because I was kind of caught off guard, and then the player I was playing against, Diego.
Yep.
Yeah, so the player I was playing against, Diego, he really knew what he was doing, and me, this being my second tournament, I went 2-1. I lost against Diego. It was the first loss and only loss. Second game, I played against Tao. The guy was super cool. His name was Nick. He did not really understand the D cannons and how powerful they are, the support weapons.
A lot of people lose that battle the first time they see them.
I really believe, and Diego, if you're watching this, I hope you're watching this. He was
Nick.
He knew exactly, no, Diego.
Oh.
He knew exactly where the D cannons were and was measuring to see if he was in range, whereas the other two players, they were kind of like, it
whatever.
Does what? -4 with D6 +2.
Yeah.
Sustain D3, and all the characteristics in the game, devastating, heavy.
It's just keyword soup.
Yeah, it's just everything.
Yeah, it's silly.
It was fun. I placed 5th.
Yeah, you did. You had a good showing. I think you were also pretty decently close to getting 4th too, just a couple more points or something.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But getting past that, guys, really what we wanted to talk about today is our personal wish list on what we want
yeah.
as players for the data slate that is happening or might be happening soon. What do you want to see?
So I'll just go ahead and just rip this Band-Aid right off the top. I definitely know Necrons are getting nerfed. There's just not a question in my mind. Everybody that has played against them knows this is coming. The Catan shards are just way too strong.
Fuck the Void Dragon.
Yeah.
Fuck the Nightbringer.
I know. The Nightbringer, I think, is 255 points right now, which is just a steal.
Yeah.
Like
the having wounds.
Yeah.
All this shit they do, the unkillableness.
It's disgusting. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him go as high as like 300. That would be my,
I'm hoping 300. I think 300 will be in a good spot. They are really powerful, but I don't think they merit anything past 300. I agree.
Yeah, I think that they're going to go up. What I'd really like to see them do is they've done this in the past with Necrons, is they can kind of overcorrect sometimes, where they just nerf the good things into the ground so hard that the army just starts to suffer. And I don't want to see that because obviously I play Necrons and they're fun. But there's a lot of units in the Necron Codex that could be playable if they just had a little bit, here and there on points,
Yeah.
Like, I'd love Scorpic Destroyers to be good again, but like, they're 100 points for 3, which is bananas, Like, Warriors just got a nerf to their strength on their attacks. They're strength 4 instead of strength 5 now, which is crazy to me. And like, they're expensive.
And nobody even runs them.
Not anymore, no.
So they're 100 points
Yeah.
for what?
For nothing.
Well, I think it's because they were ran in blobs before, and they were terrorizing 9th edition.
Yep.
And that's obviously iterations behind us, but still, like, they're scared to have that again. And that's just my theory on it.
They were good in 10th at the beginning too, and they've been bringing their points down a little bit, but then they just brought the banhammer to them by reducing their strength, and they're just not good anymore. Necrons, I'd like to see get a little change. How about you? What do you think about your army?
I think Eldar, even if they get nerfed, somebody said it to me in the tournament, it kind of made sense. I just flip the page.
Yeah.
It's just like,
100%.
oh, this is nerfed? Cool. Oh, look at all these cool new toys I have.
I think Eldar in this edition has been like hard nerfed like 4 or 5 times.
We just flip the page.
Yeah.
Like, we literally have, look at all the fucking codex.
There's just so much nonsense.
Yeah, we just have so many different options. So I personally don't think that Eldar, I think they're going to get hit, but I don't think that they're going to nerf the Autarch. I don't think they're going to nerf. I don't think they're going to nerf Fugin. Maybe a little bit. They'll probably up our points slightly.
What do you think about Warp Spiders?
Oh man, that's a good one. I think Warp Spiders are going to get hit.
Yeah. So you want to hear my hot take on Eldar? I don't think you're going to take any nerfs at all. I really don't.
Point increases.
And I think you're going to actually see buffs. I really do. So I know that's my hot take.
That would be amazing.
I think that what they did with Eldar, with reducing their number of fate dice down to 6, and doing all the other changes, like the changes to dev wounds, when you look at the tournament stats right now, Eldar are healthy. They're like,
they're not at the top tier.
Yeah.
But they're in a good spot. We were talking about this on the drive home.
It's like 52, 53%. Like, yeah, it's a little high, but it's not like, they're not oppressive like
it's not
were,
Necrons.
Sure.
I had to get that in there.
Yeah. So, I see them coming down a little bit. Like, there's a bunch of units that Eldar players will agree are probably a little too expensive. Like, I could probably see Night Spinners coming back down a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
well, you got to remember, Night Spinners were fucking terrible.
They're oppressive, but
that minus movement and shit.
Sure,
but I think everyone jumped on the bandwagon.
That's a valid strategy, and I think that if they if they buff the points a little bit, we might see a couple here and there. Which now they kind of don't anymore because they're too expensive.
You sent me that video. I'm gonna try this list, guys, in the new tournament that we go to, whichever that is, with the Wave Serpent and a few bikes.
Right, yes.
And 3 support weapons because I'm a fucking degenerate.
Yep.
And I want to watch people cry.
And a bunch of Warp Spiders.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah. I think that's a great list.
I think it's going to be stupid, it's going to be nonsense, and it's going to be fun.
So going to the other end of the spectrum, the other thing that I'd like to see with this wish list, or this MFM update, is I'd like to see Tyranids buffed.
I was about to say that.
I am so sick of Tyranids in the state that they're in right now because we talked about this so many times. It's like they handed the rules and the idea of this edition to the Codex writers and told the Tyranid writer this, and nobody else got the memo.
Well, Dark Angels.
Sure. But like they said, hey, we're going to make this edition less killy. The games are going to be a little longer, whatever. It's going to be an easier game. And they, the Tyranids player is like, yeah, okay, that's exactly what we're going to do. And nobody else got that memo.
And I think, I think you nailed it. 10th edition, personally, I think all armies, guys, they're when a new codex comes out, I feel like they either overbuff or underbuff, and a lot of times they just underbuff the people that are in the beginning.
Yep.
Right, and so like Space Marines have been hit pretty bad. They have some good lists, but they were very nichey, and now they're starting to come up again.
Yeah.
But NIDs have just been fucked.
The whole time.
The whole Shadow and the Warp thing, it's great. And I think when we were playing a game, I did Shadows, and it was kind of like, okay, that really wrecked you.
Right.
But you failed every test, and it made 0 OC.
It didn't matter.
But it still didn't fucking matter
Yeah.
because I have to funnel all my army into killing one thing.
Right.
And you have to run exocrines, you have to run zoanthropes.
Yep.
It's a very niche way to play, and I would love to see them. We're both Tyranid players too.
Yeah.
So.
My problem with Tyranids is that they don't really have decent ways to handle armor.
Yep.
Like, you have zoanthropes and like you have exocrines, but like you're funneled into those decisions. And like you had other ways to deal with it in 9th edition. Like, for instance, the Hive Tyrants, their guns used to be anti-tank.
Yep.
And like they also had smite and psychic attacks to like deal with armor. And now you just lost all of that. So
Well, now they're dudes on foot that are not really that good.
and they're all strength 9, and like most armor is toughness 10, so it's,
And they, like, you can do combos to make them plus and stuff, but it's nowhere near the potency of Necrons or Eldar, and that's kind of where we would like to personally see is like NIDs need love. What's another army that you think?
I'll
all
probably
the Space Marines.
Yeah, I'll probably catch some flack for this because I want to see AdMech get changed.
Yeah.
The thing about AdMech is that you can build a list that is degenerate and really stupid and nobody can beat it, and that's the Chicken Walker spam list for AdMech, right? You can build that list. You're gonna spend $2,500 to get it done, but nobody has that on hand to play AdMech, And most AdMech players I've spoken to don't want to do that. That just sounds boring to them. So what I'd like to see happen in AdMech is I'd like to see them actually nerf that unit to make it harder to do that spam and buff the rest of the codex to make it more interesting. Because that codex needs help so bad.
We both agree that 100% AdMech needs love. Grey Knights need love.
Yes, I think a little bit of love.
Yeah, they're not as bad as they were in the beginning of 10th. The beginning of 10th, they were fucking atrocious.
This most recent Dataslate update where they buffed all of the suits for Grey Knights gave them some help. It is actually helping them quite a bit. If you look at like tournament results, stuff like that, and plus I just played a Grey Knights player, it's a scary list.
Yeah.
Like, it can do stuff, but it's
still not quite there.
Yeah, it's so close. Just with a couple more points decreases, I think that army's very good.
I'll tell you what I want to see buffed personally, like besides NIDS, obviously. And just because I want to get into a Space Marine army, I want to see the Green Rangers get the buff, the Dark Angels.
You want to see Dark Angels? Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel
codex.
like they have awesome models. Everything looks cool.
The next big change I'd like to talk about is, I guess, Sisters of Battle, because they're kind of this like interesting little niche spot right now in the meta, where they're quite good. But the people that play them, there's a very big delta between like high-level tournament play with Sisters and like the average table.
Nuns with guns.
Yeah, so like in your normal like club scene where people are playing at a table like this, like you're not finding impressive Sisters players, so nobody online is really complaining about them. But when you get to a big tournament, like holy crap, is that army good? It's like Eldar but more oppressive. Like, no joke. They have fate dice that they can gain. They just generate fate dice every time something dies.
And they can continue to use said dice.
Yes.
They don't have a limitation.
They don't have a limit. Well, I mean, they do. It's once per unit per phase, but they have a unit that gets rid of that limitation. So
they don't have a limit.
Right.
On fate dice.
Essentially. Like, there's ways to make that not happen.
And they look cool.
They're a really cool army. I've been speaking to some of the more competitive Sisters players, and they think that the Arcoflagellants are going to be nerfed because they're very, very strong. I don't know if you've ever played into Arcoflagellants, but they're
played Sisters one game.
It's a wild model. They have a 4-up Feel No Pain, 2 wounds each, and they throw a bucket of dice whenever they get into melee, and they can take a hazardous check to throw an even bigger bucket of dice, and they are really good. So every Sisters player I've spoken to has been like, yeah, these are probably getting nerfed. But, I think they're cool. The rest of the army could probably use a little bit of love. There's some characters that are just like not taken in that army that are quite good.
Like the Redemption engines?
Yeah, like the Penitent engines. Like those are very good. They're just overcosted.
I love the lore behind them because it's just like, you're a dude, we hate you. You've done bad shit. We're gonna just strap you to this fucking machine.
Yeah, and if you
feed
live,
drugs.
you're redeemed.
Yeah, and then there you. Well, no, yeah, you're redeemed till the next battle. And we're gonna do it again. And we hope you learned your lesson. What did you learn?
They do the same thing with the Repentia. It's the females that do that in that situation, and Saint Celestine was actually a Repentia.
Oh.
Yeah, she actually like was stripped of all of her armor and thrown into a battle with nothing but a chainsword, and she made it out. And
well, at least they forgive you, right?
Yeah. So yeah. Other than that, any other armies that you're looking forward to?
Not right now.
No.
I mean, you know what? Actually, I want to see some World Eater love.
World Eater love, yeah. No, I agree.
I think that rhinos are kind of they've kind of ebbed and flowed.
Yep.
I think that'll be kind of a correction, but then that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't have any other wish lists per se.
Speaking about your World Eaters thing, I kind of agree with you in that sense. Now that I'm thinking about it, every time that I've seen World Eaters play into another melee army, the other melee army just seems to win. Like I know that the Blood Angels matchup for World Eaters is atrocious. Like they do not win that matchup at all. And that makes no sense to me. Like World Eaters should be pretty good into that matchup, but they're not.
World Eaters should be amazing at what they're specializing in. Like you said before, you don't have two phases of the game, essentially.
Right, you're lacking.
You're literally just, I do melee.
Yep.
So guess what? You should be fucking in melee.
I don't know if points are going to be the thing that solves it for them. I think that they actually need some fundamental rules changes. I'd like to see them gain access to some sort of fight first. I think that would help them quite a bit. That's one of the primary things that kind of like, screws them over in some games. Also, what really screws them over in the Blood Angels matchup is they all have Melta pistols. So, the Blood Angels have stronger melee than them and can shoot. It's a better option. And they're faster too, which is insane. But other than that, I mean, just like an overall, I guess like discussion about like the meta in general, I think that this is like one of the healthiest points in Warhammer's history.
We're in a very good spot.
Yeah,
what is it, like a 3 to 7% spread right now?
It's very close.
There's great.
There's a couple outliers here and there, but it's not like we have something that's so oppressive that like everybody's screaming for it to change.
Yeah, it's not like Necrons exist.
I mean, sure.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking. It's really not even that bad. I think between our two armies, like Eldar and Necrons, being really represented, obviously you have to take this with a grain of salt. It's like a 2%.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like they really just need to be toned down a little bit. There's a couple armies at the back end that need to be brought up to to where everyone else is. But even then, like this is like the best it's been for quite a while. And they've been really I mean quick with the balance updates. We used to get them like once a year. Now we're getting them every 3 months.
Games Workshop's been doing a good job.
Yeah, which we got to say it.
With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you want for the data slate. And,
we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, we'd absolutely love it. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys. Hey, guys, how's it going? We just wrapped up our video talking about the data slate, at least our wish list for that. And to thank you guys for watching all the way to the end, we're going to do a promotion. We want to hear what you guys want to hear about. So whatever it is that you guys are looking to hear about in the Warhammer space, let us know. Comment down below, and we're going to pick one of you, and whichever one we like the most, we're actually going to send you guys a gift card for $50 for any used product you want. So $50 or less, you get to pick whatever you want out of our case.
And as always, guys, we do sell used product. So if you have an army that is sitting in the closet and getting some dust on it, we will definitely take that and get somebody else new into the hobby.
Yep.
Or if you just want to trade it in for cool new shit, let us know.
It's a good way to do it.
Absolutely. Guys, as always, thank you so much.